Hi, Polly. Russell. Good to see you guys. Brandon, I'm waiting for a couple more. I've been asked to go live by someone, so I'm just going to do it for like no more than 45 minutes, but definitely 30 minutes. I thought we would connect and see how the collective is doing. And morning from Australia. Absolutely. It's good to see you, Polly. Russell, hello. How are you? It's good to see you guys. Hello, James. It's good to see you, James. So there's a feeling, I'm talking to certain clients and everyone, I'm actually kind of tired. Thank you for asking, Polly. Infinity Fox, hi, how are you? So I wanted to, first of all, let me just say that many of you are following me and you're being followed by a scammer. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. So please block them. You'll notice that I have about 13,700 followers. That's the real me. There are two others posing as me, just so you know. So it's a scam. Hi, Tamara. Thank you for the roses. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate. So please just block them. If you want to report them, great. But honestly, that's not doing anything. So just block them. They're scammers, and I don't want you guys to be scammed. My sessions, I don't do sessions on text. I talk to people. I do hypnotherapy on Zoom, so you guys see me, and then I always call my clients before we ever set up a booking. I always vet all my clients, voice to voice. Okay, so just don't get scammed, please. Also, the collective, this aspect of shedding other people's energies is going to be really big for you guys. So if you're lucky enough to live in a place that has a garden, right? A garden, Pachamama, Mother Earth, I really strongly urge you to do this as a daily practice, to shed other people's garbage that you may be picking up because you're star seeds, empathic, all of the above, okay? Also, you're dealing with your own grief. It's very important that you get it together on that end, okay? Hi, how are you? Hello. KCR. So please take off your shoes and socks and ground yourself on Mother Earth. Okay, Zanny, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's very important that you guys shed and reground yourself. There's nothing like the electromagnetic current of Mother Earth to heal you. Hi, Yayap. It's good to see you. Okay? So I need you guys, if it's still daytime outside, hell, I used to do that by moonlight. All right, I lived in the Northeast, up in upstate New York, and I'd walk at midnight. At the time I was living with my twin, and we'd go out and walk at midnight in the frigid winds and snow and so forth, and watch the moon, look at the moon. But during the day, even if it was cold, like 9 degrees, I'm not kidding, I would have my little negligee. I'm not kidding, guys. I would have my long overcoat down to my legs, but the sun, the reflection of the sun, I'd stay out there for as long as I could, laying down on the ground. I kid you not. Sometimes I could do 10 minutes, sometimes I could do 15, but the point is the deed was done. I was regrounded in snow, believe it or not. I mean, obviously don't get frostbite because that hurts like hell, but use your common sense. But you need to do this stuff, okay? Try to put your spine up against a tree. Try to meditate, okay? Like literally meditate and put your spine up against a tree. The weather's good now. Put your lingam and yoni out in the sun. If you can, pull down your drawers. I'm just going to say it. Point it to the sun and get your root chakra activated so that you can get recalibrated, okay? So it's going to be important for you guys to do this on a daily basis if you have any chance of getting recalibrated. If you are apartment dwellers, I know how hard that is, and you definitely need to go out there and just find, even on a park, walking your dog and then finding a tree and taking off your shoes and socks and digging your feet, not digging, but what I'm saying, putting your feet down in front of you. Hi, Noelle. It's good to see you. And Rochelle says been sick, and all that's helped is being outside. Of course, that's all you need is to be outside. So I told my son I had to put in my calendar that we're going to go hiking up in the mountain. That's one of the reasons why we're looking to move to the Northeast, because we're back in the mountains, okay? So I'm telling you, because there, up until, I don't know, about 2 years ago, I lived, not 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I lived in a cabin in Northern California, and I could literally put on my shawl at 6 o'clock in the morning and go outside barefoot and watch the sunrise. I can't tell you how amazing that is. It's weird how you take it for granted until it's no longer available. So I want you guys to do this on a daily practice. I bet. Come move to the mountains of West Virginia. You'd love it. Yeah, I've been looking. I'm looking at astrocartography to see what is the best place for me right now, energetically. Yeah, so you want to live in places like that. I forgot with hawk feathers, so I don't know. I can't tell you what it means. I'm not going to make it up. I'm going to say I don't know. Hi, Dajit. So whatever that white feather means to you is what's important, right? Because, I mean, I always get hawk feathers. And so for me, I know what that means for me personally. So you may want to look that up, okay? Because there's a lot of mythology being brought around certain symbolism in the twin flame journey, which is kind of like rhetoric. And so what I mean by that is that suddenly people are saying things like this, and it means a twin flame journey. Probably the only thing I'll agree on a twin flame journey is 1111 does mean the beginning of an activation. But the most important thing you have to look at, Mayam, is that are you seeing numbers of your twin flame? There you go. That's important. What numbers are you seeing? And it's amazing how many clients I do readings on, and I do their numerology, and then it hits them. Oh my God, I've been seeing those numbers all the time. I didn't realize it was his number or his life path number or whatever. Mayam, I found it's a sign for new beginnings. Okay. I hope you're well. Talk again soon. Absolutely. Thank you. I see his birth year. Okay, that's good. That's to me more important than, no offense, a feather, because I saw tons of pigeon feathers, but it meant nothing except that a cat got it. I'm not being funny. I mean it. For a minute I saw it as a sign. I'm actually not being funny until I saw a trail of feathers and I went, oh yeah, okay. So for me personally, a crow feather means something, and hawk feathers, different falcons, feathers, that means a lot to me. Yeah, I'm just saying. I keep seeing my own initials. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yep. I think you know what that means, right? It means that you are loved, that they're projecting their love to you, that they're saying that you matter. That's why you're seeing your initials, just so you know. Yeah, it's interesting. But seeing a birth year, a day and a month, I keep seeing 1234, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think it means to you? I found a hawk feather, a raven feather. Excellent. That's beautiful. Very good. The hunter and the thinker. You know, in my opinion. That's how I see the hawk and the raven. Attends une minute. 7, ça fait 7, 8, 9. 7, ça fait 10. Interesting. So on the wonder, I keep seeing 1234. That's 10, which is in Kabbalah is Isis, Osiris, a balance of masculine and feminine. I thought it meant to focus on myself. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. I hope that's what I meant to say. Yeah. That they're saying, love yourself. We're here. You matter. And yeah, focus on yourself. I found a giant wild turkey feather. Impressive. That's pretty awesome, Zani. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I've never found one, and yet I lived up in the Northeast where there are wild turkeys everywhere. I come across crow feathers at work every week. Holy God. I hope you're putting together a smudge fan. I'm not kidding, Polly. You should do that. To me, 1, 2, 3 is like a countdown. I get you, yes. I see 1818 almost every day. 1818 is spiritual material conflict. It's my number, actually. It's my day of birth. And 18, it's 18 is 9, right? So you've got 9, which is 18, which is 9. And 9 is one of God's perfect master numbers. Infinity says 23 is both our favorite number. Yes, I have 32 and 23 is both me and my twin's favorite number. It is our number. It's my life path number. And my name, actually. So that's interesting. 23. I know a lot of people who come into my life, and 23 is a significant number. Believe it or not. Keep seeing 333. That's 9. God's master number. Because you can actually add 9 as a, as a 0. I keep seeing his initials everywhere. Yes, there you go. Now you're talking. Because it's got to be, it can't just be numbers. The collective numbers that we're all seeing for activation is 444, 12, 12, 555, 10, 10, 11, 11, and so on, and 333, right? And so on and so forth. So that's the collective ascension numbers, right? Based on also your particular thoughts at that moment when you see those numbers. Like if you're depressed, excited, you're doing something that's scaring you, whatever, those numbers are there to support you. However, what's important on a twin flame journey, and that's particularly to twin flames, is those personal numbers that don't matter to other people, right? If you said to a person, do you see 1818 all the time? They look at you with a blank stare, right? Right? So that is your particular number, right? Or the day of your beloved's birthday, like 11/11, right? But in your case, it means a lot because that's when your beloved was born, November 11th. Or it could be 11:06. You keep seeing on the clock 11:06. You're looking outside. You see a bus going by or whatever, and the bus is 11:06. What about seeing their first or last name only? Or yeah, that's it. That's the same thing I'm talking about. Exactly. Just hopped on as you kept saying 33, and I have 111 as well as 144. Yeah, 144 is fabulous. 9 again. Yep, there you go. Thank you for sharing all the numbers you guys are seeing. I asked for a sign and I saw his birth year. Yeah, there you go. Now you're talking. Pay attention to what's happening at those moments. Exactly. That's exactly it. That's when it matters. 23, 32, 32, 32. It happens when I'm thinking of my love. There you go. There's a meaning behind it. And that's 5-5, which is 10. That's really interesting. I see my birthday all the time and 17 in their first name. That's crazy, Survivor. Mirror numbers, exactly. Very cool. Very true. My birthday is 11/04, 1955. 11/04, so you should add those numbers, Marlene, and tell me what they are. I'm not doing it here because I have to do the count. I can't do it on my head. I'm kind of tired today. I sometimes wake up and check the time and it's 10:10. Wow, that's crazy. A very beautiful support there. 10 is her birthday number. I'm seeing 9-1. You're actually seeing 11 because 9 cancels out, believe it or not. So it's 8. 8, okay, Marlene, 8 is when you say it's a hard life path number in a way. It's not difficult in a bad way. It's challenging for your growth. It's like having a bar tab. You never paid the bar tab and now you're here to pay it. So it's like taking on some karma. Okay? Past few days, I was bombarded with my ex's birthday numbers: 426, 6424, 246. Also, 10, 12. So 12 is in Kabbalah. Well, there's 2 levels to these numbers. Here's the thing you guys have to understand when you do these numbers. There's the life path, right? I'll give you an example. 246. So you got 10 plus 2, right? That's 12. So in Kabbalah, it would be sacrificing the victim, right? That's not too good, right? I mean, but that's one idea of one life path you guys could do. But then when you add the 3, there's the vibration of balance. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the sun sign Scorpio. There's 2 aspects. I think there's 3, but I'm only remember 2. There's 2 aspects to Scorpio, the horoscope sign. One is to be a scorpion, meaning all of the dark shadows of being a scorpion sign. And the other, a highly elevated sign of the Scorpio would be represented by the eagle. So numerology and life path numbers have those same kind of, not for everyone, but for many of you, it has 2 meanings. One meaning is the shadow, the other meaning is the light. I see 1010 and 911 constantly everywhere. 111, I'm constantly attacked by angel numbers. I wouldn't call it attacks. I'm seeing, apparently, ask yourself, are you paying attention to your thoughts as they're coming? I see 512, which is my twin's birthday. Yeah, May 12th. Excellent. So that's 8. So I'm not going to do numerology like that. Sorry. I just was trying to show you examples. But I'm seeing all these numbers. Yeah, plus 12 today. I got, wow, that's a lot of 4s. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, ça fait 4. I finally told myself to let him go, and then Pandora played the song. That reminds me. Yeah, you can't make that up. You cannot make that up, my friend. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Erica. 1212. Yes, I see that a lot. 1212, I see 1010, 1111, of course. but more 10, 10, 12, 12, a lot. And throughout the day in different ways, like my gas bill, my this, my that. It's insane. I find it incredibly interesting. I find it to be incredibly interesting too. It's really cool. It's really cool how they've finally been able to talk to us, you know, with our digital phones. They found a way to communicate with us. That's pretty amazing. There was a question that was asked by a comment about death. And sorry, but I just was told to start talking about it, so I'm gonna do it if you don't mind. About death and the aspect of oh my God, I forgot the term they're using. Anyway, about these weird energies coming in that are making us karmically loop into the karmic wheel, right? And in other words, incarnation being a loop that you can't escape, right? And the aspect that you're better off going into the abyss, not going to the light. Has anyone heard about this in the last 5 to 7 years? That I've heard that we can actually stop incarnating in 3D, but I've also been listening to the dark aspect of it. And the dark is that we're being used as, that this is a prison planet and so forth. Has anyone heard that? Has anyone heard that? Because if no one's heard of it, then I won't talk about it, because there's no point in me bringing that up until you've heard about it. You have? Okay, good. Thank you, James. No. Yes, I've heard this. Yes, I've heard this. A little bit about it, not much. Okay, archons. So they're talking about archons taking our energy. Okay. Do you mind me talking about it real quick? Because the problem is I don't want people to do the wrong thing during death and start freaking the fuck out if you know what I mean? And I think it's something that you may want to spread the word once you've meditated on what I'm about to share. So, as you know, death, we die, right? Whatever. And we start going to this light. And this light is imbued with incredible love, okay? And then what the concept that's going around is that we don't have to incarnate again in this prison planet, that we're trapped in a conveyor belt, which is really exacerbated from paintings in the Buddhist and Hindu tradition, especially with Inchkan. There's a painting, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, I'm sure you have, where you see the little baby coming out of the grave, and the teenage boy, young man, and going down back to the grave. Got it? Okay, so it looks like a conveyor belt. It's a cycle that never ends. You're trapped in the karmic wheel of Dharma, right? Okay, well, here's the thing that I want to invite you to think about, because the analogy or the philosophy that's spreading out, that's really making people kind of even afraid of dying. Believe it or not. I mean, people are afraid of dying already, but worse. So here's the deal. So the idea is that these archons have us trapped and not to go to the light, because it's all an illusion. That the light, the love, all of that is an illusion. And it's better to go into the abyss, right? To go into the darkness. So I invite you. I'm not saying my answer to this is right. I'm saying I'd like to invite you to think about it in your own heart. Let your heart be your compass. The aspect of reincarnation is based on self-loathing from multiple incarnations. You've got to understand, this is why I did the video on Atlantis and the fall and how it created our separation, okay? And so and that was just one aspect of it, okay? We started losing our consciousness when we decided to come down from like 70, 90 into I'd say 5D, okay, when Atlantis was rocking and rolling, okay, in its golden age, if you will. And then as things started getting weird, you know, where we had some people in a very low egoic aspect playing God with genetic mutation and manipulation and so forth, that there was definitely some civil wars going on. There's no doubt about it. Plus, also they were attacking the Lemurians. If I remember correctly, it felt like the Lemurians, one of the reasons why they actually collapsed is because of the constant attacks from the Atlanteans. There was a faction of Atlanteans that were not kind. Let's just be real. All right, so with that said, so that's the beginning. So when we perpetually incarnate, we've had past lives. We've had past lives as monks, nuns, warriors, Knights Templars, witches, burned at the stake. We did awful things to people. We sacrificed people and threw them off cliffs in the Mayan age, whatever. I'm just making this up, right? And long story short, what I'm trying to say to you is that we have carried we have carried all of this energy from incarnation to incarnation. So of course we would be on a perpetual wheel of 3D. Why wouldn't we? We're our worst judges. We are our worst judges. Our guides don't tell us, hey, you got to come down here. Our guides don't say, yeah, end up blind, or end up never finding true love, or end up being betrayed. That's us. We say, I don't deserve, okay? And I see it perpetually happening when I talk to clients, and I can hear their dialogue, some of them saying, well, I probably know that we're not going to be in union forever because I'm probably not there. And there's a lot of judgment that's really harsh, okay? And that's with me, and we've just met for the hour. So I can't even imagine their internal dialogue. So this self-hate, this self-loathing, this I don't deserve, this I deserve this. I mean, look at all the women that go back to physically abusive men. What do they all say? They say, there's a part of them that wants to save a broken person, and there's another part that's internally saying, I deserve this. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you go to the light, it's not so much that you go to the light as you are. It's that you go to the light with self-love and forgiveness, so that when you cross over and you meet your guide and you look at the panoramic aspect of your life in the last incarnation as Salazar, Infinity, Eloise, User 53, and James, and all, right? Whatever you've incarnated at. You look at it with the eyes of a beloved father, a mother to a little child. You look at it with compassion. And that will change the kind of trajectory of your incarnation in the next one, because you'll be much more akin to saying, you know what, I get it. I don't need to do that. I forgive myself. That's not who I am anymore. In fact, just watching this little video of my life and how everything I said and did impacted not just me, but everyone I loved or didn't love, I get it. And so now the next life I want to be in 4D, 5D, whatever, 60. And that takes self-love. Okay, that takes self-love and being so beautifully compassionate to yourself that you will actually realize, and in that realization of self-realization, you'll be able to propel yourself out of the hamster wheel of perpetual karmic incarnations that are very hard, in hard families, in hard situations, and you will no longer have to live in a 3D infrastructure that is not meant to let us breathe and thrive, and we have to fight for that, right? And one of the aspects of our incarnations here is to learn how to manifest. It is a real skill set that you have to master, but the first thing you have to master before you can manifest is your mind, your monkey mind. If your monkey mind is running muck in your head, hitting you with a sledgehammer of negative thoughts and self-loathing, you are not going to manifest jack except a $20 bill on the floor and a hawk feather like me, right? You're not going to be able to get what you really need. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm trying to share that with you, instead of going with this weird agenda, or that as we die, archons are going to grab us and throw us in the perpetual wheel of karma, due to this falsity of unconditional love, and everything's fake. And I was listening to some of the comments, not listening, reading, and I was hearing people's despair going, my God, I can't trust being here, and I can't even trust being dead. I can't even trust going on the other side. And I could feel, vibrationally speaking, the panic of people who were listening to these kinds of videos. And that's when, and then one of you, I forgot who, respectfully, I don't know who one of you approached me on my comments and said, would you talk about this? And so I don't just talk about stuff like that off the top of my head. I have to meditate on it. I have to chew on it. I have to feel it. And then I wasn't even going to talk about it, but I was divinely guided to talk about it now. So apparently some of you needed to hear that. I'm afraid that now I get it and unraveled everything in my mission done, because I'm really at peace. Excellent. Nailed it. Thank you, Polly. I appreciate that. I'm glad that it resonated with you. Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. Oh, I've been here. Absolutely. Fantastic. I hear that. So I'm inviting you. I'm ready to just go home. Sweetie pie, I know that all of us are ready to go home. I get it. But the thing is, the problem is that if you haven't nailed self-love and manifesting, you're going to go home and be really tough on yourself, because as a spirit soul, this is a walk in the park. This is like cake. It's a cakewalk. It's nothing. And unfortunately, amnesia will set in. You'll forget how intense this was, and you'll believe it or not, you're going to say, no, I would never do that. Yeah, at some point you will. You'll come back exactly into 3D, because at this point you'll say, I get it. I know what to do now. I'm coming back to go get them. I will. I'm going to volunteer to 3D. I know I can do this. You know what I mean? So let's be real. Let's really get it together here. Okay? So that you don't have to volunteer. Let others people go through their stuff. Can you tell if someone is a twin flame or high? Okay. Can you tell if someone is a twin flame or high initiate? I'm struggling to connect with my soul to find out. Yeah, I can, but I mean, I don't do it here. I never do that. I almost died a few years ago. I saw the light and my parents, and they're dead, and a voice pulled me back. Yeah, probably the voice pulled you back it was time, or a real voice, an actual person pulled you back. But I know my son had a near-death experience, and he kind of wanted to stay, actually, but then realized that he had to come back. He kind of wanted to stay, actually, but then realized that he had to come back. That he had stuff to do. I'm glad I came into this live. You've got great advice and information. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Salazar. Hey, Sheik, I just had a permanent separation with my twin. I'm really sorry. Nothing's permanent with the twin flame journey, no matter how bad it is. I prayed very hard, hope when I am. My twin found out I was talking to his mom about and he freaked out. Yeah, that would have put him in a weird place, in a defensive place, Sheikh. I'm sorry you're going through that. It's not God that allows. Situating blocked me about everything on his burner account, yet would God allow this? It's not, God has nothing to do with that. That's what people don't understand. Why would God do that? God didn't do anything. God doesn't do anything. That's what people have to wrap their head around. That's been like one of the tragic aspects of religion, is this idea that God is involved. And God is not involved. That's why we have free will. He gave us free will. She gave us free will. And the energy of God consciousness is like the beloved child. There's just so much. Thank you, Polly, for the rose. Honestly, think about it. It's like, can I do something with my son if he decides to date someone else or do so? I can't do shit. He has free will. And God energy has no difference than a loving parent. It's no difference. And so when somebody dies and says, why would God do this? Well, it's not so much that God did this. There was a soul contract that this person could only live until they was 14. I remember hearing the story of it. This family, very wealthy family, dreamed vacation to Nepal, and there was a rock slide, and they were all on their horses or whatever they were driving, and boom, there came a rock slide, and that 14-year-old boy died in Nepal. The average parent would say, why would God do that? Exactly. Why would God do that? We were so close and this happened, so I don't understand the point of this. The point of this is for you to go within and to not need to be in union with your twin. That's the point. That is the point, actually. And that's the tragedy, because that can actually really push people to the edge. And my twin flame has just died. I am so sorry, Sarah. This is happening a lot. Every other live, I'm getting someone, thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. I'm getting someone saying my twin either took himself or herself out, or my twin just died. Folks, seriously, when your twin is so hell-bent on not being with you because they can't see their own reflection in the mirror without loathing or a sneer of dislike, then you have to back away so they can actually do whatever they need to do. And sometimes life is so hard that the twin, at some point, it can't do it anymore, and the twin is taken home. That doesn't mean you follow them. It means that this twin had a certain amount of years that they needed to live, and then for some, it's too much. Like, for example, when my husband died, I was shown that had he died another 10 years, he would have had dementia. I was actually shown that. Like, so the day he died was a good day. Like, I had to come to peace with that. That was a good day for you to die, my love. That was a good day. You did good. And boom. So there's this level, and don't get me wrong, it's hard as hell, because on one level you could be transcendental, right, and speak like I just said, and on the other you miss the sound of their voice. You'll never hear their voice again, never in this incarnation. And so there is that aspect of missing your twin. But what is also invited for you is to continue your relationship with your twin unencumbered by the ego that drove you in multiple separations. And sometimes your connection with your twin will be much on a higher level, where you guys can go from twin flame to twin ray, even though you're separated by death. Okay? I'm so sorry, Sarah. I send you my condolences. I send you hugs, and I hope that during your meditation you can actually communicate with your twin. I have a video where literally my son, the day my husband died, within hours of him sleeping, the relationship began on a new footing, completely transformed. And my son talks to his father through lucid dreams damn near every night now. It was every night for 2 solid years, but now it's whenever he needs him. Well, I wasn't being in need because I was staying away and not on his account. That triggered him. Yeah, I understand that. Best 7 months of our life and then just be done. So our soul contract will have to be the best 7 months of our lives and then be done. Be done for now, yes. Be done for now, yes. Absolutely. For now. I'm broken. He took himself out. I am so sorry, Sarah. I am so sorry. I was holding myself to hear that. I had a feeling you were going to say that. And I'm so sorry. That is really... But you know what? It's like when they take themselves out, it's not always easy for you to communicate with them right off the bat, because there's a lot of transitions that need to happen, a lot of integration because of the way it happened, right? There was a lot of grief, a lot of despair to that moment. And so you're going to have to be patient. But eventually, if you sage him remotely, if you sage your twin remotely, and light a white candle, I don't know where you live, how you live, but I'll give you an example. I'm going to give you an example so you can visualize what I'm saying. I had a porch, and I would light a white candle right there, a votive, right? A 4, 5, 6 hour votive. And I'd start at 5 o'clock, I'd light it up, and then it would come off. It would, extinguish itself after 4 or 5 hours. And I did this for a particular person who was savagely taken out. And I did this because I could tell that their soul was still trapped. Okay, so I did that for about 3 weeks. In this case, it took 3 weeks. But Sarah, you may want to do it for as long as you. And then one day you'll feel it. Oh, he's fine. Your twin has crossed, and it'll be good. And that's something that you can do as a ritual and sage him, and help him from where you are. Believe it or not. And then at some point you'll start communication again. He was 31. It's so hard. I know it's really hard. I had another one who was 33. We're both married, and it's impossible to join. So hard, I'm giving up. He is with whom? How do I connect with him more? Thank you. You connect with him by opening your third eye, by meditating every day. And when he is ready to communicate, it will start happening. He has to be ready. Right now, he may not be ready. Okay? But when he's ready, believe me, the connection of a twin, you'll feel it. That's what made him grab his mom's. I'm sorry, Sheik. How do I know my soul contract is? You don't. You've got to. It's very easy to know what your soul contract is because you're divinely led to places and things and people. The problem that stops you from actually fulfilling your soul contract is the monkey mind that says this is not logical. So I'll give you a perfect example of that. A perfect example, when I decided to sell all my stuff, a beautiful place I lived, up in upstate New York. I lived in what they call a maid's quarters, and I had this incredible place to myself. The beach, the Hudson Beach, I'm not kidding, with sand, white wisteria. I could lay out nude for hours. No one would come on the beach. Hours. I could, all day long, no one would come. And from there, I was divinely guided to come back to California to meet my shaman. So when I'm saying, and that was a soul contract, to meet my shaman, to do the medicine was my soul contract, to stand in my light and to walk in my path, to be of service to starseeds and twin flames That was all divinely opened. Each door, as I walked through each door really revealed a new path, a new agenda, an understanding. Does that make sense? So as you do much of your meditations, and you connect with nature during your meditations, you will be brought and escorted to your soul contracts and your soul's path. Does that make sense? We changed each other's life, met in the most random of circumstances. I can't believe it. I get you. I'm sorry. Any white candle? Yes, any white candle. I even had one of my friends died inexplicably at 33. Okay? And I'm not going to say his name, but let's just call him Joe. And Joe arrived out of nowhere in my car as I'm driving up the mountain. I just found out he had passed away suddenly, right? Suddenly. And I just found out he passed away. And I'm not kidding, energetically speaking, he's sitting next to me in the car going, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, Joe, you've died before. You know what to do. You know how to do that. Don't be afraid. And I spoke to him all the way up the mountain. I was just talking to him, and I could feel his energy and his confusion. And I took a long white candle. I happen to have them from Trader Joe's. They sell them every year in the holidays. Thank God I bought a few to stack. And I put them at the window, and I lit it all night long. I know that's totally dangerous. I shouldn't, but I did. I lit it all night long. And by the time the sun rose, I knew Joe had crossed over. Okay? But I did. I lit it all night long. And by the time the sun rose, I knew Joe had crossed over. Okay? So I knew. And by the time the sun rose, I knew Joe had crossed over. Okay? So I knew it was done. Okay? So the Hudson River Walk. No, it wasn't there. It's at a very secret spot that actually most New Yorkers, upstate people don't even know. But is that another place, the Hudson River Walk? That was a wild beach I lived on the Hudson. In fact, a lot of upstate New Yorkers would say, beach, the Hudson? I'd go, yep, and sand. They wouldn't believe me. I'm 33 this year. His name is Joe. Oh, shit. Okay, well, you can't. Sarah? Wow. All right. Wow. It's not random, my friend, because that's not my friend's name who passed. So there you go. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, Sarah. I know it's not all right, because it's not all right to say it's going to be all right. How is it all right? Right? You can never inhale him. You can never hear him. I get it, but you're going to have to learn how to toggle between the 3D desires, where there's nothing wrong with wanting him alive in your arms, and the 5D platform of transcendental communication with your beautiful Joe. Is it mandatory to go through the twin flame journey, even if it's hard in the 3D? No, it's not mandatory. That's why free will is for real. You're Joe, yes. Can it just be 3D, 5D? No, it can totally not be 5D. I remember I did a past life regression with a client who actually is one of the 108,000 people who were light beings. I'm not calling people, but light beings that came from a platform. I believe it was 7, or it felt like 7, and came in to be one of the founders of Atlantis. Okay. No, I didn't know his name. Believe me, it just happened. So. Came out of nowhere. Wow. Yeah, it just came out. But that's why when I do readings, stuff like that, random stuff like that happens. I'll be back now. Thank you. All right, take care of yourself. So, any other questions? Any other comments? Thank you, Sarah. God bless you. Blessings to you on your path. There's a lot of beautiful healing you need to go through, and it's going to open you up in a very powerful way. Believe me, Sarah. How does it seemingly unrepairable get fixed in my situation? They're telling me to say time, and time doesn't heal all wounds, but time actually does dilute anger and shame. It does do that, actually. So then you can see things from a different perspective. It could be like I was in separation with my twin for 2 years, and it was much needed. It was needed, honestly. And I'm still physically separated from my twin, but we're talking all the time. Is Mark? No, sorry, I don't do those readings. Devin, that's not me. You've got the wrong person. Every reading I do is one-on-one with clients, and I will. And there are a lot of shysters acting like me. So, Dev, I'm just going to warn you. If you think it's me approaching you to answer your question, it's probably someone here watching this live that's going to approach you saying, "Oh, I love your energy. Let me go ahead and give you a read." That will not be me. There are shysters posing as me. Okay, I don't do readings like that. Sheik says, "Yes, I learned one thing. He's got a time like how long he can before he reaches out. I don't know. You have to do energy work, my friend. We argued yesterday till he's sick. His voice sounds bad. Is it possible after 25 years? Of course it is. So the question Salazar is saying, is it possible after 25 years to you reunite? He popped into my a month ago and it hasn't left my mind. That's what happened to me. It took 27 years. So the answer is yes, and it's a hell yes. Okay? Not being with one you love is hard. He's every 18 years I learned in our separation, he loves me. Good. But what's important is you loving yourself, because when you love your twin more than yourself, it's unhealthy and it's a lack of balance. All right. So any other questions? Because I can't answer. There's certain questions that are very personal and I can't. Whenever you have a vivid dream or anything like that of them, and you keep seeing his birthday, I would say that, yeah, I personally, me, I would reach out to them. That's me. But then again, I did a couple videos on that. What would you say is the biggest sign that someone is your TF? There is no biggest sign. There are tons of signs. And it's like a puzzle. It's like 100 puzzle pieces. And the first puzzle is a clue that maybe it's an ocean background. And the second puzzle, it takes multiple. That's why I've done multiple videos on that. That would tell you, okay? Because a lot of these ideas of twin flames that are false or whatever is because somebody ran with an obsession, a sexual obsession, a trauma bond from past lives, and it's my twin. No, it's not your twin. It's a soulmate, and you died on the Titanic, okay? And so there's a trauma bond there because it's like you died together, you were freaking out, and or another. As I keep telling people, look at human history and look at how many times we've been separated quite suddenly by death, through war, through disease. Just look at it. So it's not hard to figure that some of our soulmates, we'd have some major trauma bonds, some major bonds that are not unrequited, but unfulfilled, like engaged to be married, and then suddenly somebody has a fever, right, and dies. In the 1800s, and you meet them and all you want to do is marry them and have their children because it was unfulfilled in that life. What would you say is the biggest? Okay, do you have anything to say about being with soulmates instead of your TF in a lifetime? Yeah, I think soulmates are also activators, and that's something people don't talk about. They think only twin flames are activators. That's not true. My shaman's an activator. She's not even a soulmate of mine. My husband activated me. He's a soulmate. I activated him. My twin flame activated me. My son activated me. He's a soulmate. So really, the beautiful gift of being with some of your soulmates is that you probably have less karmic triggers to deal with than your twin flame, if that makes sense. And your soulmate can be home. It can be a place of safety. But I mean, that's why we're twin flames and not twin rays. It's because there's the runner-chaser dynamic. And as I keep saying, that runner-chaser dynamic in its very, essence is toxic. People who are normal don't run and chase others. There's none of that. It's toxic, right? So, okay, mine is married. He's clearly toxic, but can't seem to leave trauma bond. What's the best way there is no best way. He has to wake up. And I've done videos on what to do in terms of what to do with your twin if you're in communication, how to help them, right? On, like getting them. The problem with most twin flames that I find that are boots on the ground is that when the opportunity to talk to a twin appears, they'll go, I miss you. Why did you do this to me? And then they talk about all the things that triggered them instead of saying, I miss you. I love you. I'm so glad we're talking. While we were in separation, I've been meditating. I've been reading these books. And I was wondering, what have you been up to since we've been, and asking them to see what they're doing to actually heal themselves. Are they going to a therapist? Are they doing yoga? Are they taking on something that they never took on before? Did they read Becoming Supernatural? Do they even know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is? Are they doing breathing exercise? Are they studying new ways of healing? Are they going to sound healers? Are they learning to be learning Reiki techniques just for themselves, not to be a Reiki master or whatever? So what I'm trying to say is, many twins lose the opportunity when the doors open with their twin, and all they want to talk about is their mundane desires. No offense. Instead of saying, this is a link to YouTube. Did you see that? About meditation and the power to overcome depression. Did you see this? A lot of opportunities are lost because the ego wants to know what it wants to know rather than to see, hey, where you are at spiritually. Where are you at? Here's where I'm at. Where are you at? Because the truth of the matter is, if you're not on the same frequency, you're not going to be in union, period. Sometimes the separation is for both twins or one twin to get their act together to stop loving another person more than they love themselves. There's an imbalance. Sometimes the separation is to do your mission. You are here to, like my separation with my twin. It took me a year to accept it. And then finally I went, oh yeah, I have a book to write. I got shit to do. Like, I don't have time to have a bubble love right now. I got really, in that mindset, like I can't be in my honeymoon period again. Like I can't, I'll be in La La Land. I won't get shit done. Honestly, I wouldn't be doing these lives as often. I wouldn't have the time. I'd be hiking with my beloved. I'd be spending the whole time with him. Then I'd be working, calling clients, taking care of them. Then I'd be, doing this, doing that. And then I'd be like maybe doing one live probably a week, if that. And so honestly, I'm fully aware of why I'm in separation physically. Doesn't that make sense? And we are all here on a mission. We're not here just for us. We're here in, a lot of you guys, and you know this, are here in service to the collective, to wake many of them up so they don't take themselves out. I was just talking to my healer. I had my own session today with my healer. And I said to her, I'm talking to a lot of star seeds and they're taking themselves out. And she was shocked because she doesn't talk to that. She's a healer on a different level, and she doesn't talk on the ground level like I do to people all over the world dealing with all kinds of different spiritual challenges. She talks to different types of people that aren't living that reality. But I'm fully aware of it because whenever I do a live or whenever I have a certain post that hits a certain people, I get someone saying, my twin died. And then the next thing out of their mouth is, they're young, they're under 35. Okay, this is a big deal right now. Okay, thank you, Paul. You're so sweet. And that's why I'm saying to you guys who are awake and aware, all hands on deck. We don't have fucking time for, oh my God, my twin, will he come back? Does he love me? Does he love his wife more, or his husband more, or her husband more, or whatever? It's like, yes, you're going to have moments of that. And I understand that we're having the human experience. Don't get me wrong. I'm not denigrating it. I have it too. But you have to put boots to ass and move forward and go, okay, I'm on my mission. Okay? Because it's really important. There are people taking themselves out daily, on the daily, and they are star seeds like you. And so what in the hell are we doing? If the twin is gone for now, okay, good, he's gone. Now now what do I need to do? Because I'm really hurting like crazy. This is hurting me bad. We're not talking about a twin who took themselves out. I'm talking about the twin has left. The twin is a runner. Okay? When a twin is taking them out, it's about, let me be kind to myself. Let me sit in the forest right now. Let me weep. Let me remember the nectar. That's a different pain. And that person needs to have that pain and needs to go with that and sit with that and rock that pain and be compassionate with it. I'm talking about you guys who are in separation from a twin who doesn't want to be responsible for their soul's growth. That's who I'm talking about. And if that twin is running like hell, fucking let them run while you get your shit together and be in service. Okay? Let them run. In fact, assist them. Okay? Give them the gas money. to go faster. Because if a twin has to run that fast from themselves, if they're that terrified to sit in their own pain, I think it's time to just don't let the door, slam you on your butt as you look. It's like, done. I don't have time. There are people actually killing themselves. You think I'm going to deal with you right now while you're playing these little baby games? No, I'm here to be of service. And that's the call to arms for you guys in your community. Does that make sense? In your community. And that's why I keep saying, open the doors and put up posters and flyers in your neck of the woods. 2, say Starseeds and Twin Flame in separation. And everyone says, well, there's no one like me. No, there are. They're hidden because they're embarrassed. It's embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing for you guys. That's why you're sitting in meditation going, I love him so much. I love her so much. I want to say I love her. Fucking say it. You have nothing to lose. And if they run from somebody telling you that, if a man came up to me and said, I love you, Tony, I think you're amazing. I said, my God, you're so sweet. Thank you. God, I wish I could reciprocate those feelings. But thank you. Wow. I would never run from that. I go, I can't give you this romantic love, but I can give you my friendship. And please know, I will never give you romantic love. You've got to be like on point, but I would never run and ghost them and shut the door down. And do you understand? So what I'm trying to say to you is that if you feel connected to your twin and it hurts you to say, I love you. Yeah, Polly says, I say to my partner every day. Exactly. Every day. Like me and my twin, when we're on the phone, I love you. Je t'aime, constantly. Right? So, because that might be the last day you say, je t'aime. It might be the last day. You never know. So that's what I'm trying to say to you guys is that we really need to that's why I lose followers, but I'll get 80 followers and I'll get down to the core of all of you, the core that's always here. And I thank you so much because it's really for our community. But I'm not going to, most of the Twin Flame creators and the Twin Flame people out there only want to do is be in union for themselves, for the great sex, for the connection, right? But they have no clue that there's more to it. Polly says she's overseas serving, so it's important to tell her. Exactly, she's overseas serving. It is important to tell her. That's beautiful. I'm so glad you're doing that for her. And she feels she's cocooned by the love, your bubble love of protection, a beautiful pink and violet and gold light. That's beautiful, Polly. You should sage her remotely as well, if you don't mind me saying. If you can, get Palo Santo or sage. So does that make sense, guys? About all hands on deck and let's not get totally destroyed. Yeah, you can walk. You can walk in crutches and still be a love warrior. I work when my twin ignores me most of the time. It hurts, but I understand now. I do, Tony. Beautiful. Oh, you do. Fabulous, Polly. That's wonderful. Yes. Okay. So does that make good? I'm glad it ignites this heart chakra recognition inside of you. So don't despair. Like I said, I was in separation for 27 years. And most of it, thank God, I was in amnesia until I started waking up. And then, then it was time. And there was much to learn. Thank you so much. Much to learn, obviously, in the union. And it was very triggering for both. I can't get my twin flame out of my mind. Came back suddenly. I remember everything he has ever said. Beautiful. Yeah, it's very difficult. So anything else? Because I need to go. I have to get ready for a client. But if any of you want a reading, I only do it on my website. There's an intake for you. Go to my link tree and you'll go there. And please just know there are a lot of people shysting now. I'm not going to follow you unless you're already a client of mine and you ask me to follow you. If you say to me, will you follow me? Then I will. But I don't follow you. So please don't get shysted, okay? Okay? Because it's really important. Oh, thank you, Space Case. So, yeah. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. We talked about death. Peace and love to all. Thank you, James, for saying that. Thank you, Tony, for your time this evening. Absolutely, Margaret. And try to follow each other. Build your community. I mean, this is a community. Our community is beautiful. It's precious. But I want to make sure that you follow each other. But if you see that you think I'm following you, I'm not. Just so you know, I am not following you. I'm not going to hit you up on Messenger and ask you to do a reading with me. I'm very clear. Do not be shysted, okay? Please, don't get taken. So, okay? Absolutely. Hi, Marcy. It's good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Well, anything, last thoughts? Thank you, Polly, for the roses. I love roses. Thank you. Any other last words? Because but don't ask me if your twin's coming back, because I can't answer that question in all honesty unless I do a reading. All right, namaste. Thank you. Next time, love. Awesome. Okay, namaste. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you all. Be well.